Hello everyone, I'm in Hainan. Hainan is often referred to as China's Hawaii, and you can probably see why. But I actually think that it's more accurate to think of Hainan as China's Australia. And if you watch this little video, which is an intro to Hainan culture to the end, then you're gonna understand why. And now let's go on a little trip to get to know Hainan's culture, the very interesting past and the vibrant present. Historically, Hainan was China's exile island or prison island. Disgraced officials or scholars who offended the political regime were sent here as punishment. And now you can maybe see the parallels to Australia that I was talking about earlier. Australia famously also a former prison island and now a tropical paradise that everyone wants to go to. And Hainan is quite similar. Here in Haikou, you can actually experience this part of Hainan's history here at the Temple of the Five Lords, which is a temple dedicated to 5 of these former exiled officials. Now, it might sound strange to say that this gorgeous paradise used to be a place of punishment where people were sent when they had offended the regime. But actually, at the time, Hainan was China's frontier. It was very far away from the imperial court. It was very sparsely populated, and of course the climate was extremely harsh. It was very hot, is still very hot. And in days before aircon, living here would have been very difficult, especially for older people or these officials who maybe sometimes already had underlying health conditions. In fact, for a lot of these officials, it was a death sentence. So even though they say it's just an exile and there was always a chance of getting a pardon, especially if there's a regime change or if whoever the powers that be decides that all is forgiven, and there is the chance of going back to the imperial court. And for some of the scholars that did happen, but in most cases it was a death sentence and they passed away here. One of these disgraced officials, but not one of the 5 lords, is Su Shi, one of China's most famous poets. He was sent to exile here for having offended the regime at the time. And he actually quite came to like this place here. He lived in a little hut and embraced local life, even though he had health issues which were exacerbated by the very harsh climate here at the time. And his story is actually quite sad though, because he did receive a pardon and was on his way back to the imperial court when he died on the way. Another interesting fact about Hainan culture is how international it feels here. The island sits right at the crossroads of the South China Sea trade, and it had lots of people coming in and out of here trading. You can really feel the influence of different Southeast Asian countries and also mainland China here. For instance, I think the architecture here really looks quite like Macau, which in turn was obviously influenced by Portugal. But even though it's like this super interesting melting pot of different Southeast Asian influences, I think Hainanese culture is still very distinctly its own.
Jie, the heart of Haikou's old town, is now a major shopping street. In some of the smaller side streets, you can still find traces of Hainan's cultural history, like this temple, for example. Here, sailors would have prayed to the sea goddess Mazu to keep them safe before setting out to sea.
But if you think Hainan is just about picturesque nature and gorgeous buildings and delicious coconuts, then think again. It's actually so much more than that. There's this very, very futuristic building. It's actually one of my favorite buildings I've ever been to. Right behind me, the Wormhole Library. It was built in 2021 by mad architects, and that's actually their name. I'm not calling them mad. And it's just this gorgeous building that's like right by the seaside. It's got these like super flowing shapes inspired by seashells and the seashore. And you've got the most amazing views across the sea from there. It's completely free and open to the public. And it's just an incredible space that has to be explored and experienced to be believed. Look at this view, it's so amazing, and this is just on the ground floor. The higher floors are even better. You can just sit here on the stairs, read your books, and like enjoy the view of the sea. I also really love the light here. You've got like these little windows, like the wormholes, and it just comes like a little bit of light comes in, but it's not too much, it's not too bright. But it's not too dark either. It's so nice. There's a little wormhole here. Let's go and check it out. They've got all these little reading nooks here. It's so cute. I have a book like this. This place is perfect for people watching. You can see in this whole building there are almost no sharp edges, no corners. Everything is like this smooth flow. Everything is like super round, and even these little like cushions over here are like in the shape of stones that have been washed around by the sea.
That contrast from exile-era courtyards in the old town to futuristic architecture here at the Wormhole Library perfectly captures Hainan's evolution from remote outpost to a tropical design paradise.
The first time I saw this building, it just completely blew me away, and it really changed my whole perception of Hainan, or Haikou in particular. What do you guys think? Do you like this building? I think the mad architects did a great job. Apart from these international and modern influences, Hainan also has some super interesting local traditions. Most of it is all about the leisure here. It's the island life, making the most of this amazing environment. You can have fun exercising or just enjoying the sunset with the locals at this beautiful waterfront here. You can go to a tea house and snack away the entire afternoon. I have a whole video on that coming up. Or you can do what I'm doing tonight and visit a performance of a local Hainan opera. I'm so excited. Let's have a look.
.现在是旺季的话，就相对来说有10几场；要是淡季的话，就是个5、6场这样子。
哇，这么多，而且每次都不一样的，还是？
我们团有几个剧目，但是是看当地选哪一个，我们就演哪一个，是这么说。比较老传统的剧目，那种是观众比你还要熟。你只要你漏一句台词，或者是一句话，或者是一个动作，观众都知道。
哦，哇，
演那种就很有难度的那一种。我们琼剧来说有300多400年的历史了，很长的了。前几年好像不是都进非遗了吗？
啊，做得細棚啫，一個名俾你啲工人攞晒嘅。
In Hainan, it's tradition to have this kind of like opera performance when it's someone's birthday or some kind of big party. And today there's a traditional festival here, which is Lord Guan's birthday. And that's why the local temple is having this 3-day opera festival.
What might look very highbrow at first is actually a funny little daily life story about a mix-up with a dog stealing a wedding gift. Performers sing in the local dialect, and there are subtitles for Mandarin speakers. Honestly though, even if you don't understand a word of what's going on, a lot of the story is conveyed in gestures, tones and movements, so it's well worth checking out, even if you don't speak Mandarin or the local Hainan dialect.
美哦！哎，吃宵夜。
我定啊！
安排。
我話老一定面都咪咁話，唯一都咪咯。
So why does Hainan feel different to other places in China? Part of it is the geography. It's an island and it's like literally quite far off the borders of mainland China. And the weather and the climate here is very different to what you'd find in other parts of China. So therefore the island life here won't really resemble anything you'll find on the mainland. Part of it is the past, which again is connected also to the geography. It was this place of exile and this frontier of the empire. So it has this outsider status, which it has maintained, but kind of turned into an advantage and is quite proud of now. And the third is the future, which is it's turning into a free trade port, which you guys know already probably if you're watching this video, because it means that you can get a 1-month visa-free stay here. Most countries in the world, at least, not all of them, but most passports can. So look that up if this little video piqued your interest. And yeah, and this kind of sums up Hainan culture really well, I think. It's this proud outsider that's quite different to anywhere else on the mainland, but very exciting and really vibrant and unique. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful for understanding Hainan culture and history. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.